Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for tuning in again. I'm your boy, Drew. This is Option Forward. Make sure you subscribe, like, rate, comment, download. But I'm always joined by this other half of the show. GQ Nesto, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, doing great. Ready to get this cracking.
For sure. And we have a special guest today. We pretty much have a special guest every time we record, but I think our platform is about sharing information. If you find it useful, I suggest that, something that a little nugget that you hear, write it down, do your own research. Nothing we say today, we're not financial experts, right? So this is based off our own opinion and our own research of what we discussed today. But, being out here and networking, you meet different people and in striking conversations with our guest today, he has some information that I found very interesting and can be helpful to a lot of people. And of course, we're talking about financial investments, but what about the digital currency? And I think that's the way of the future, in my opinion. And it's bridging the gaps for a lot of people financially. But I'll let him get into all of that. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome Shane to the show. Shane, how you doing today?
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. I'm doing very well. Thank you guys for having me on the show. I appreciate that. This is a great platform, something we can talk about financing, which is something that people don't really talk too much about. And so we can get into that.
Okay. Tell the viewers and listeners a little bit about yourself. Who is Shane?
So for the most part, I work at the Intercontinental Hotel. I'm a bartender. I've been doing that for about 10, 12 years. I'm really passionate about what I do. And I love meeting people and learning new experiences. It's a great avenue to meet new people and explore new topics and things like that.
Okay. So for some people, they think stability comes from having a good career, a formal education, whatever that may look like. It differs depending on the individual. Why is financial investing important, to you? Like, what was that ding ding? Like, I need to diversify. I need to get into this. So what was that light bulb moment for yourself?
For me, the most part, I've always been interested in financing. Just didn't have the platforms that were there to actually get in there and be part of the process. So it was during the whole COVID pandemic, and we had the lockdown, and had the time and decided that I wanted to use my time wisely and study and do some research. And investing has always been something that I've been passionate about. Like I said, I didn't really get into it, but I've gotten into it since then because of the platforms that are available now. So pretty much, during the pandemic, just started doing my research, started doing my due diligence, found some apps that were out there, started investigating and finding out about investing, started watching news shows, listening to different analysts, and just really doing my due diligence. And I found that this is something I was passionate about, so I kept going forward with that. And one thing led me to another. I found a Robinhood app, got on that, took some money, put that in there, started finding stocks that I was passionate about, things that I like, and then just learning the whole process of it because it was all new to me. I didn't go to financial school or anything like that. I just learned it just by doing the research and doing my due diligence. And that's the thing that I appreciated the most about it. And just learning, just continue learning about it.
Okay. And building your own portfolio, two-part question. Mm-hmm. Why is it important to have a portfolio, an investment portfolio? And what strategies are you using to make sure your stuff is diversified?
For the most part, you're thinking about wealth for yourself to be able to have that financial security later on down the line. I believe in long-term. I'm a long-term investor. Short-term is available as well, too, but that's more if you want to be a day trader. That takes a lot of time. That's pretty much a full-time job if you want to do that. I just find that knowing that you have assets now and knowing that your assets are going to gain in wealth over time is a beautiful thing. Now you're totally in control of your financing. And before, we didn't have the opportunity to be in control of our financing unless you went through a broker or somebody else, you knew somebody. Nowadays, you take a little bit of money, you do your research, you find some stocks, you do some investigating, and you throw some money in there and you just kind of watch it. The market's going to fluctuate, go up and down, but you just kind of ride that out. And it's just very important that we just get involved in this. A lot of us, I came from a single home background. So my mom didn't have the time to really teach me these things like that. And so I had to learn on my own, and just knowing what I know now and seeing the progression of where I came a year ago to where I am now, I'm just so proud of myself because now I'm in charge of my wealth, and that's very, very important to know that you can be in control of your money, and you want to be in control of your money. You want to know where your money's going. You don't want to let that in somebody else's hands. Now you're responsible for it, and that's actually a really good feeling to know that you're in control of it. Okay. And the different strategies that I use for the most part is just watching CNBC, watching different news shows, things like that. YouTube as well too. Getting some advice from other experts that are in the game and have been in the game for a long time, and looking at their strategies and how they do things, and then just kind of tailoring it to what fits for me.
Okay. Wait, since specifically speaking about cryptocurrency, since it is a more riskier investment than the traditional stocks and bonds and stuff like that, why do you think it's important that we hop on that gravy train now?
First of all, the reason why it's risky is because of the validity of it, because it goes up and down. It's not like your regular shares or your stocks where they go up and then they go down, but there's always like a middle. It never really goes down too much. Although there can be drops. I think stocks are just as risky as crypto in a certain aspect. It just kind of depends. I mean, you look at something like Peloton, which, during the pandemic, was at almost $200 a share, and now it's tanking. It's at $39. So it can be just as volatile as crypto. I think the thing with crypto is just people are unfamiliar with it and how it works and the purpose of it and how it's being integrated into our system. And I think once people understand the benefit of it, because this is a global thing and crypto doesn't stop. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week. So there's always trading going on. There's always things going on. There's always coins moving. So it doesn't stop, with like stocks, of course, after the closing bell, that's pretty much it. You can't purchase anything else. But with crypto, you can continue, 12 o'clock at night, you see something, you read an article and you're like, oh, I want to invest a little bit, put some money in there, see how it goes. You got to be responsible. You have to watch your money. You can't just depend on it to just sit there and not do anything. You want to kind of just pay attention to what you're doing with your money and how your money is flowing. And I think that's very important. And crypto this is the new wave. It's being implemented everywhere. You see it with the federal government. They're trying to put regulations and things like that on it, which I think is a good thing as well too, because then that kind of gives it legitimacy. And people will feel more comfortable knowing, I think, with the federal government being involved, only just because, crypto and Bitcoin have had a bad name for a long time, especially on the dark web. So people only hear really about the bad things about it, and not the benefits of it. Like I said, this is a global thing. This is going to bring wealth to poor countries and help, people find some financial stability in their lives wherever they are in the world. And I think that's a great, great thing.
Why do you think it scares a lot of people out there? I mean, especially you have like Warren Buffett and, certain, big time investors out there that don't really see the value in it, only because maybe their mindset doesn't really wrap around the whole digital currency part. Or, I mean, what do you think is the main reason of these fears and how? I mean, I'm not a big, I don't know much of this, so I can't really talk much of how this whole cryptocurrency is. But like, to my understanding, it could be wiped out. I mean, it's dependent on something that can possibly crash. So I could see all these different angles that the risk is high. Like, you know what I mean? Like you could lose a lot of money. So what do you think is the main thing that people are scared of? Like, and what and why do you, regardless of that, you're still okay with it?
I think for the most part, it's a lot because it's not tangible. It's not something you can carry in your pocket right now. It's not like cash. It's not like having a card or anything on your person. So people are kind of like fearful of that because we've been so used to just having regular currency, cash or credit card. So that kind of gives it the validity because you can actually hold on to it. But we have to get used to the terminology of wallets. I mean, we're not going to be carrying cash around, cards. Everything is going to be on our phones. I mean, the terminology wallet is being implemented into our society right now. Everybody knows what a wallet is. And the purpose of this is because the way that crypto is working and the way the technology is moving is that we're moving towards this digital age where everything is just going to be implemented in one area, and you'll have all your information. It'll all be stored on a blockchain, and it'll be your own private key access that you'll have, and nobody else will be able to get into it. And I think the thing with people that are apprehensive about it is just the fact that they haven't really done their research and their due diligence. You're always going to have critics about something. This is all brand new, and this is the thing people need to understand. There have been a lot of people that made a lot of money in the beginning, but those people that made that money have been in the Bitcoin, let's just say Bitcoin because there wasn't too many other currencies around, were in the Bitcoin era 12 years ago. So it took them about 12 years in order for them to make their money. These millionaires didn't just pop up overnight. Okay, they bought at a time years ago, held on to it, didn't sell it, and they got rewarded for that.
So that whole buzz where, people say, oh, I made
a millionaire overnight.
No,
it's not necessarily true.
Yeah, and I mean, if you can pump and dump, but the chances of you really coming out of there with a lot of money is very, very slim. You really have to, you got to put in a lot of money to really get a return on that. And there's no guarantee on that either. Because, you may think that, oh, Doge right now is at this, and that. I'm going to go ahead and put $100,000 in. But Doge is still new right now. So there's really a lot of weight to it right now. But once people start using it, once it gets into the mainstream where people are purchasing and buying things with this cryptocurrency, then that's when you're going to start to see it being more adapted in society. Like I said, this is just the beginning stages of it right now. I don't compare it to gold at all because, of course, gold is gold, and it's always going to have its weight. But this is something that's new, and the way it's going to be integrated into our society is just something that's exciting. The same way, when the internet first came about and, we didn't know anything about this and how this is going to work and how it's going to be implemented into our daily lives. And now look at it.
Right.
I mean, if you had conversations with Bill Gates, or Steve Jobs, and they were telling you their ideas, oh, this is what's going to happen. This is how we're going to revolutionize it. We're going to create these programs. We're going to have these Word documents, and we're going to do this DOS and all of this programming. We're going to have the www, World Wide Web, and, you'll be able to access anything from anywhere all over the world. And, people will be like, oh, no, that's not going to happen. How are we going to be able to get all these people, from South America to communicate with these people over here in Europe or whatever, and to be able to have this platform? Because it's new. And when you're being a revolutionary, these are the challenges that come across it. And, you just roll with the punches. There's a lot of developers, a lot of money that's been invested in crypto and wanting to see that this succeeds, and it will succeed.
All right. For those who aren't familiar with like the trading platforms,
yes,
like the apps for digital currency, what is a wallet? I know what it is, what we carry in our pocket, but what purpose does it serve in the apps?
Well, a wallet is something you need in order to purchase the currency, the crypto. So each token, you need to have a wallet that goes from one place to the other. It's like your private address, your private key, and it's assigned just to you. So therefore, you can send money back and forth. I send you my address, you send me yours. I can send money back and forth, and that's how we send money back and forth to each other, just through a wallet.
Okay. All right.
What are the providers that or the sources that you would really tell our listeners, like, hey, look at this? Because obviously there's like, there's fake news, there's all these different outlets, and sometimes, they're very contradicting statements or opinions. So I think it's important to have like, I mean, I know it's easy to just Google it, but sometimes there's some sources that have been pretty accurate throughout the years. So what is something that you would highly recommend?
For me, I use Coinbase. That to me, that platform right there is, I believe, to be absolutely amazing. It's very user friendly. There's so much information that's available on there that they give to you to make sure that you make the right decisions when you're picking the different coins that you want to put into your portfolio. And you can earn, different coins. They have rewards on there as well, too. So you can earn, and learn about different cryptos that you didn't even have in your portfolio. And then you find, okay, well, this is what they do, in this whole process of the blockchain. And then you kind of make a decision whether or not you want to go with this, or just do some more research and find out if this is the token you want to use. Robinhood's about to come on with a wallet as well, too. I like MetaMask. MetaMask is another really good one. You've got Kraken out there as well, too, Gemini.
What about IG?
IG.
What is it? It's an app. Let me see. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Okay. Yeah. If they have a wallet on there, that's great, because then you'd still be able to transfer coin to coin. So that's not a problem. It's just as long as they don't have a wallet. Yeah, see, that one I'm not familiar with.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's pretty new. Or I could be wrong on that. But I kind of go through all of them and see how user-friendly they are. And for the most part, the ones that I found are really, really good. And they provide you with all the information that you need to learn about crypto, learn about wallets. They give you all this information is there on these apps. You just got to go through, you got to read it, understand it, learn about it, and then just kind of go from there and decide whether or not this is a good fit for you. Because maybe it's not a good fit for everybody. Some people are scared of taking their money and putting it in there in a place that they don't know. It's almost like they're just putting it out into the universe and just praying that something's going to happen. But no, there's a system behind all of this that makes it all work.
What's your approach to the level of risk as far as investing?
For me, it's a matter of how much money I can afford at that time to put away.
Right. So
each person is different. So if you're on a budget and you can only put this away, if you can only do $100, do $100. If you can only do $50, do $50. But get started.
Right.
Just get in the game. That's the most important thing, is because, especially us being Black and brown people, we need to participate in this movement that's going on. And this is the digital movement. And that's why it's so important for us to be involved in this, because we don't want to be left behind. This is a community-based thing, okay? This is for everybody. It's an open source, so we need to be part of this process because it is the future.
Right.
And we need to be part of the future. We need to have more developers. We need to have more people involved in the communities, and learning about this. We've been playing catch up for so long, like you said, I always use the internet revolution, because that right there, if we would have been part of that, at that time, who knows what we would have been doing, you know what I mean? How many more Black developers there would have been, you know what I mean? How many more Black companies or brown companies there would have been if we had been involved in that process at that time? But we were not involved in any of this. Now, with crypto and the digital revolution that's happening, and I call it a revolution because it is a digital revolution that's happening, we have access to be part of all of this now, and we have the platforms to be in there, so there's no excuse why we shouldn't be doing it.
All right. Are you familiar with EFTs?
I am familiar with EFTs.
Please explain. What is EFT? What are the benefits?
So pretty much that's exchange trade fund. That's just a pilation of stocks in a fund for the most part. But the thing about the EFTs or ETFs is that they can be traded. So as opposed to like a mutual fund, which you can't trade with the mutual fund, it just has to sit there and you just have to let it kind of grow over time. And if you do try to take out any money, there are penalties that will occur and things like that. With the ETFs, you don't really have to worry about that so much. They're a lot riskier than your typical mutual funds, but you have, I think you have a better chance of gaining wealth over time than you do with the mutual funds. I think the mutual funds will start to fall off sooner or later.
What are your thoughts on NFTs?
I love the NFT game. I think this also is revolutionizing the game as well too, and how it's working. It's given a lot of artists, digital artists, an open door to showcase their work, because there hasn't been a place like this where people can actually go out there and perform and do the things that they want to do and be part of this whole digital revolution that's happening. And I love it. I really do. I got some friends that are really, really getting heavily involved in the NFT game. It's everywhere. Everybody's talking about it now. You got athletes, that are getting involved. Entertainers that are getting involved as well too, and learning about it. And it's going to change the music industry. It's going to change a lot of industries. Because I believe that now these platforms are just, because it's pretty much an open source now, and it's you put your work out there and let somebody else decide whether or not they want to be part of it or not, and you never know. It's a big world out there.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it, but I was excited about it at the opportunity. I mean, of course, it's been on the news. You hear about Steph Curry purchasing some. You hear Eminem.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not always. It's not only digital art. You can put your hand drawn art on there. You can put your beats on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say Nas just did it.
Yeah.
Like I want to say 2 weeks ago, where you can purchase a part of his album that he had just released. But it's crazy because it's to me it's so confusing because I used I don't know if I can even say their name, but I think we should be good. But I was looking at the OpenSea app and knowing that you have to use certain currencies, Ethereum, I think like we were speaking earlier, and another currency. So you have to have a wallet on Coinbase, and then net Coinbase talks to OpenSea, and then you put your stuff on there and you create your profile, and then people can bid on it. But the amazing thing that I found out is, okay, so if you sell some, obviously people will have ownership. They have rights to but at the same time, you can also put into your sales royalties, right? Mm-hmm. So if you sell an item for $100, I think they max out their royalties at, I want to say 15%. I think it was 10 or 15%. So you sell it for 100,000, 5 years from now, it sells for $1 million. Well, you get 15% of that sale. So I saw that, and I, like you said, I think it's a way right now for us to bridge the gap financially.
100%.
Because everything has been so limited based on resources and knowledge and application, and we haven't had that. Now it's it's out there.
Just like you said, as far as our communities, I think that's huge right there, because there's so many. I think I wouldn't say they're disadvantages, but I think that there's so many different things could be set in motion depending of the course of action that you do, especially coming from different minorities. I think the access to the knowledge is essential, and unfortunately it's kind of hard, especially, if the struggle is real. Like, how do you kind of put yourself, in a position where, you just learn and maybe you're not going to, benefit from the sacrifices, but at least, you start building, wealth for your family. You know what I mean? I think that's the hardest part. And unfortunately, it's nobody knows, so now imagine that going down to the communities that. It's almost impossible to kind of have some sort of knowledge out there and for people to even believe it. Because I mean, personally, myself, I don't know what to think about it. I mean, it makes sense, but it's the unknown,
So is that what you think, Nesto, your fear is just the unknown of it?
Yeah, the unknown of, well, the direction of that it's going, because I mean, I just feel like we're so codependent on we're so codependent like on like, you know, media, so many things that can go wrong at any moment. So it's not like, you know, printing money, you know, you go out there, you print money, and then whatever, or whether it's gold, commodities, any of that, at least you can see it. But the fact that I can't see it, it just makes me like, hold up.
You can see it.
Yeah, you can. You definitely can see it, especially when you start purchasing things. And we'll go into the metaverse as well, too, because that's a whole nother reality as well, too, that I really believe is going to tie everything. You see, everything is going to tie itself together. The blockchain, crypto, NFTs, the metaverse, it's all going to tie itself together. I'm not a developer. I don't know what the future is going to hold, but I have a great feeling and a good understanding of where we are going with this and how it's going to change a lot of things, especially as far as, you know, buying homes, buying cars. You know, a lot of this access you'll just be able to do from your phone. You know, I believe real estate, you'll just be able to purchase, you know, a home from your phone.
You could already do that.
Yeah, smart contracts are working and things like that. These different documentations that they're working on right now to be able to kind of put everything in place. It takes time. It takes a lot of work. This is all brand new. Okay, this is new. This is why it's such a good time to get in, because it's the infancy stage. This is the beginning of it. Because 20, 30 years from now, we'll look back and be like, man, we should have got in on that. We should have got in on that Bitcoin, or we should have got in on that Ethereum, or that Doge, or whatever. We should have got in. You know, in hindsight, you know, you'd say that, but we have the opportunity now. There's no reason, no excuse why we shouldn't be part of this process. There's a lot of institutions that are putting a lot of money into crypto and buying up a lot of it. And we don't want to get to the point where we allow them to buy all of it and we don't have anything left. Okay, so that's why we really need to be part of this process. And you got to think of it like this: is the more we all get involved in it, the more it starts to grow and build. But we have to be part of it. We can't just sit back and watch it. We got to be in it. You know, we got to participate. You got to teach the children about this. You have kids at all? Yeah. They play Roblox?
Yeah.
What is Roblox?
Isn't that like wasn't that a part of the metaverse?
Part of the metaverse. Yeah. And how old are your kids?
Oh, my kids are older. So we got I got teenagers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've talked to some coworkers who have 5-6-year-olds that are playing Roblox right now, and they're learning about the metaverse. Okay. So this movement is going to continue. It's not going anywhere. And Roblox is like one of the number one stocks out there. And I highly suggest people well, anyways.
But you know what's crazy? Like, I'm hearing all this and I'm like, slowly, day by day, you know, year by year, we're starting to lose the personal touch. You know what I mean? Because like before it was like, let me go talk to so-and-so. And then he's basically the advisor. He's the one. So now it's like, you got to go, you want to go get it? Like you got to go do it. You know what I mean?
Well, I think of it, and the way I see it is the hands are coming out the pockets. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody got their hand in your pocket. I got to talk to him. What
happened to handshakes, man? Like,
but I'm just saying, like, if I go to him for advice, he or she or whatever they are, these subject matter experts, they're going to charge me a percentage.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Now we eliminate that.
Exactly.
I don't need them no more.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're getting that service. I think it all comes down to the service and what you get for it. Because I mean, at this point, it's mind blowing because there's so many services being offered, especially like this whole Bitcoin, like let me help you. Like average Joe is giving you an advice because the information is out there, but you just got to go do it. But if you're old school like myself, or like imagine all the people that like are a lot older, imagine how they feel. You know what I mean? Like it's like you're forced to adapt, and there's nothing wrong with you going and doing it yourself. But sometimes it's like, man, like let's just keep it simple. Like charge me the fee. I don't care. Just give me that peace of mind.
You just want to have somebody to blame other than yourself. That's what it sounds like. You told me to do it, so I lost my money. Now I'm blaming you. But if I go out and I lose my money, all I can blame is
I'm not gonna lie. I tried that whole little E-Trade, and man, I failed so bad. Like I was like, I just think it's the patience, the how you have to be very articulate on what the next move is gonna be. You gotta wake up early. I mean, you gotta base it's a game plan on top of your daily life schedule. You know, especially because it's moving in directions that you just gotta wait and catch those waves. So to me, that's a lot of work.
A lot of work for you.
A lot of work.
Yeah. But don't you feel that you being in control of your financing and not somebody else, that you feel more comfortable knowing that, okay, I'm going in the right direction. I can pull out if I want to, or I can invest more. I can read up on this company and find out, okay, look, they're doing some really, really good progressive stuff. Let me put some more money in here and see how that kind of goes. See, the thing too is you got to do your due diligence. We can't sit around and wait for somebody else to make things happen for us. We have to go out there and do it for ourselves. Technology is always going to change and evolve. And if you're not a part of the adapting to this, then you're just going to kind of get lost with everybody else. And you want to keep educating yourself about what's going on in the world. I think the pandemic started a lot of this, or maybe it was already in the process. I know what you're saying about as far as us not coming together and not being so social anymore. It'll be a different type of social, which will happen. And that's why I think
emojis
within the metaverse, you know, there's going to be a Facebook style thing, and people will be dating in the metaverse. It will be a whole reality that will happen.
It's kind of scary.
And now I was about to say, that doesn't scare you?
It's kind of scary.
Let's just back up. Let's back up.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is the metaverse? What do you know about it? What do you see it as in the future? Or the little that you do know? Like, can you elaborate?
I mean, other than it being a virtual reality where you can pretty much go in and create your own world. We talked about purchasing land, and then on that land you can have an art gallery in there and put all your NFTs in there. You know, people can come in. People go through these virtual worlds and they travel through and they check out things. You know, whatever catches their eye. You know, that's why you have so many big companies out there now that's trying to buy all. See, that's the thing too, is you got all these corporations trying to buy all this because they see where the future is. That's why it's so important for us as a people is to get in there and purchase what we can as well too, so we have some kind of leverage. Because this is not going away anywhere. And, you know, you've seen Snoop Dogg, he just purchased, you know, he's in there as well too. There's some other partners that are in there as well too. I just think it's going to start this snowball effect, and everybody's just going to start getting more and more involved, because what's going to happen is they're going to start learning more and more about it, because people are going to be more interested about it. And I think that's why it's going to be something that succeeds. And I'm interested. Yeah, I'm all in, man. I'm excited. I can't wait to see where this goes. It's always changing every day. There's always something new. It's a lot of work. I'm not going to say it's easy, but you still need to be part of it and paying attention to what's going on. I mean, you know, why spend time on a social app when you could be learning about how to better your financing?
Now back to the question at hand. So it doesn't scare you that you can have a metaverse boo? You know what I'm saying? Like your whole relationship, like he said, the human element of things are just going to probably be gone and non-existent. I forgot what movie I was watching where I think, man, what movie was that? I want to say it was Blade Runner.
Okay.
I'm not for sure, but dude had a virtual girlfriend. And the whole movie, I thought she was real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Until he walked through her and I saw she was a hologram. I was just like, but she was there for him.
You can shut it off real quick.
No, she was there for him, and I was just like, yo, like, that doesn't scare you? Like, what happens? I mean, obviously, we have a lot as far as population control, but like,
Right.
what is going to happen 20 to 30 years from now? Will we even create human life anymore?
See, Drew, I don't have the answer to that. I don't know, but I feel your sentiment on that. I don't have an answer for that. I think the process in itself is great. We'll just have to kind of see where it goes from there. That's like, having a car on autopilot. People are like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. Like, just sit there and let my car drive itself. But this is what's going to happen.
I have no problem with that.
You're trusting something. You're putting your trust in something, but you won't put your trust in something else. You'll put your trust in a car that's going to drive itself, but there's no guarantee that car is not going to crash for something malfunctions or something happens. There is no guarantee in that.
Well, the good thing is like if it crashes, there's going to be a recall. There's going to be some potential lawsuits. So hey, like my family's going to get the benefits of it. You know what I mean? If they go at it, but like it's.
But you were willing to do it though. You were willing to put it on autopilot and let it go.
Well, yeah, because obviously you're resting. I mean, like who doesn't like to nap? Like. Yeah. I just think it's mind blowing because like we're in a sense we're on like shrooms but naturally, you know what I mean? Everything is just like weird, you know what I mean? Like, and we're navigating through these unknown waters and everything looks colorful and nice and dandy, but the reality is that like there's going to be somebody that's just going to turn on that light and then snap out of it. You know what I mean? Like have the whole situation just come to an end. And I think that's scary. I mean, it's hard to adapt. That's why I'm like, man, like this is where we're going. Like this all sounds like a chore, like sounds like you have to be more in control of everything because the reality is that technology is like, it's taking over. You know what I mean? Like, and it's scary because what can be done with technology? A lot of things.
Like
a lot of things.
It's just we're losing that personal touch. We're losing values. I mean, we've already lost values, but now we're losing the personal touch. So now it's like I think about all the jobs that are going to be eliminated by that. I mean, you see a lot of like banks that are going like basically all electronic. So there's no teller, no nothing. So you're now eliminating regular jobs. So that means that like what's going to be next? Like what's going to be the future for everybody? So now it's like you're going to have to in a sense be lost in transition. I don't know.
Well, no, I think it's a transitional point to where emphasis is made on having a skill as in a way to make a living versus doing something that can be eliminated by technology. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Our virtual desk, a virtual assistant where I can go to a kiosk or whatever and get the information that I need rather than speaking to a person. And then a lot of people, that was a lot of people's biggest concern. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, we're eliminating jobs. We got Taco Bell and robots is making tacos.
Pizza Hut, imagine. Like, how do you get that pizza? Like,
but
that's
at
hard.
The same sense.
And it's being delivered to you.
Well, you flip it though. But you flip it. How you flip it is you become the person that develops the AI that does your job. That's how you get in. It's still early enough in the game to where you can do that. And you wait 20 to 30 years from now, man, that may not be available. So I like he said, man, even if you don't even have much, I think it's important to, especially if you don't trust it, you know what I'm saying? But do a little bit. And you never know, the snowball effect is going down a hill. It'll grow over time. And then you're like, dang, I could have put more, but I'm thankful I put something.
See, I think it's not a. I mean, I see both of your guys' concept, and I get it, but like I kind of want to. I don't know. I feel like more into the whole traditional investment type of stuff, like property stuff like that. Because I just feel like at least you can see it. You know what I mean? At least you know that that's something that, I mean, I don't think real estate will ever be an issue where, you know, people stop buying real estate. Like, you know, real estate is going to be the huge factor. You know, everybody's like, you see like Texas and all these other states where there's a lot of people moving out there, you know, and capitalizing on their profits. So to me, that sounds more like, okay, I can live with that. But like the other stuff, I mean, it's just, it's hard to adapt. I mean, it's just something that I don't see the sense in it. Like, yeah, I'm still trying to, you know, kind of get all this information. That it's crazy.
It's a lot. It really is. It's a lot. And just by me doing my research within the last year and a half and being on this mission, I've noticed it is a lot, and it does require a lot of research and due diligence and going back over things and figuring out, okay, this didn't work, and strategizing different plans. Okay, this didn't work. Let's try this. Let me try and putting some money over here. It's just kind of the way the process is working now, and the way that, you know, the world is changing now. You know, we don't, you know, especially because of the pandemic, you know, there's, you know, chemical warfare and all of that. You know, we don't want to touch people. We don't want to get too close to people. That's just, you know, we're going to get rid of currency because money is so dirty.
Well, check this out.
Money is dirty.
That's the scary part, because now, and we were just talking about this earlier, it's like, now I don't have to punch you in the face. Now I can hurt you electronically. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the level of power that we have nowadays. And it's scary because, you know, a 9-year-old can do it. You know what I mean? Like there's so much access, and, you know, you just won't see it coming, you know, like that's some, like, you know, what's that movie?
Futuristic stuff.
Yeah.
Some Tron.
Yeah, some Tron stuff. But I mean, that's the way the world is going. And I know it's hard to accept that, but that's just the reality. I mean, you look at Elon Musk and SpaceX and what they've done, over 100 and something launches already. I mean,
he took his grandparents out there.
Yeah, him, Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson, like these guys are doing crazy, crazy things. I mean, they're going to build a space hotel up there. You know, they're going to have all these different amenities and things. They're working on plans that they're going to do, and it is going to happen. Nice. And what they will be using is cryptocurrency.
Straight total recall.
Well, they're saying Jeff, he can basically like give everybody like I think $1 million, and he'll still have like God knows how much, you know? Yeah. So I could see why him, you know what? Let me go build a spaceship in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. You know, have this whole virtual, a real world out there in the universe like that, which is, you know, what they're working on. And I know it sounds far-fetched, but it's when we're talking amongst ourselves, but you go out into the world where you're talking with these developers and these engineers, and you'll be blown away by their conversations of where they see the future going. And that's why this isn't going to stop, because it's just the evolution of everything. And I know it's hard to grasp. It really is. I get it. I don't even know. I don't know where any of this is going to go, Ernesto, but I'd rather be in it and participating than just sitting back and just letting it happen to me. Yeah. I mean, you know, and I get it. And the point about, you know, the older generation, you know, my mom and, you know, grandparents and things like that, and them trying to understand and get involved in this. But then I think that's where we come in, you know, as children, to help them to understand about this and how this is going to work. Now, whether they want to learn about it, that's up to that individual. Some people aren't going to want to learn about it. Some people are going to want to learn about it. That's just kind of how that kind of works. But I think you still need to be part of the process.
Now, I know when we first met each other, yes, I think you have a platform, a website you was telling me about. You feel like, can you talk about that?
Yeah, and that's still kind of in the works. So yeah, I really don't want to bring that up right now. There's really nothing going on with that right now.
Okay. Yeah. But what was its purpose though? What do you want? Once everything is established, what purpose will it serve?
It's
though?
Pretty much a nonprofit organization. And what we really want to do is just reach out to the kids and educate them about financial literacy and how important it is to get involved Like I said, we'll go back to the apps. They have Stash. They've got all these different apps for the kids, because what we're trying to do, and what I see the wave is that we're trying to teach the kids early about financial responsibility. So there's some of the apps, get paid, your parents pay you $10, and you put that aside, and then you start to grow and build wealth, because it's so important for the kids to know what they're doing with their money instead of just throwing it away. Well, I don't mean just throwing it away, but not being, financially literate about their future. And that's very, very important. Because I think if I would have had this when I was young like this, if I would have had this app and know that I could do this, like I was getting this money for taking the trash out, Mom, give me $20, I go and put that in there and just watch that wealth accumulate, that excites me. I'm going to be like, okay, let me put some more in there. Let's see how this works. That's kind of the way I see it.
So
It's,
for sure. Now I know there's like several trading platforms out there.
Mhm.
Do you have a preference? Do you suggest, in your own opinion, what people should look for when getting involved in a trading platform?
For me, I use Robinhood, especially for my stocks in particular. They're actually getting ready to come out with a wallet soon, so that's going to add a lot more traffic to that app and people signing up and registering and being part of the process. I think when you start investing, you should really invest in things that you feel passionate about and that you like. For me, I like electric vehicles. I like that whole industry. I just believe that industry is going to blow up. It's just a matter of time. There will be no more gas cars. All of that stuff is going to be gone. We have to be more conscious about our society and what's going on in the world. We need to start using better resources, instead of destroying the environment. We need to be more aware of what's going on. So I'm into electric vehicles, electric charging stations, things like that, anything that has to do with space, SpaceX, because to me, that's all the future. And I like things that are headed toward the future.
They got the flying cars and everything already.
Yeah, they do.
Do they? I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I saw it on the news. I think it was maybe somewhere out in Berkeley. They were previewing it. I saw it, some new, on the news. Not too long ago, probably about 3-4 months ago.
Wow. Yeah, they're talking 2030 by, what did they say, 2030 or 2032 that we should be all electric.
Well, that's the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna be all electric.
All right. So I got a hypothetical question for you,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So newsflash.
Yes, sir.
All right. Newsflash. It's a currency out there.
Yes, sir.
Don't know the name of it, but everybody's becoming overnight millionaires. All right. Are you going to go with the newsflash, throw all your money in there? You only got $1,000. Let me back it up. You got $1,000 and that $1,000 is supposed to pay your rent. Are you going to dump the money in the currency because of its potential? Or are you going to play it safe and pay your rent?
Now, do I have to put the whole $1,000
You got to
in
put the
there?
whole $1,000 in there.
After I've done my research and done my due diligence, then I will make that decision on whether or not I want to go all in.
Okay.
Because you have to. I can't just go by what you're telling me. I have to do my research. The same way you did your research, you have these questions, you did your due diligence. And this is so important as opposed to just, listening to somebody else's advice or opinion without doing your own research. I think, that's pretty much the basis of everything what we do in life. I don't just listen to everybody's opinion firsthand. Like I'll go and I'll be like, okay, that's interesting. Let me research it. Let me look for the facts, as opposed to just taking things just face value like that. I mean, why would you do that? Just because somebody says, oh man, this community over here is about to blow up. You got to go check that community out. You got to go make sure it's okay. You got to see what kind of people are living in there. You got to see what's around it. You got to see if it's really got that potential. You know what I mean? Because if it's in the middle of nowhere and there ain't no Starbucks around it, it ain't gonna happen.
Right.
But yeah, you do your due diligence. You just don't hop on something without, doing some homework and making sure that this fits within your profile.
All right. Dang. Anything, GQ?
what if it checks all the note, or it checks all the blocks? You know what I mean? Are you still gonna do it? You still gonna trade the $1,000, or you know, after due diligence?
Yeah, I would. I do it. I'll go on it. Yeah, I'll go on it. Yep. You have to take the risk. Without no risk, there is no reward.
Okay.
And that's what all of this is about. It is a risk. You kind of want to minimize your risk, but that's when you do your research and you're like, okay, this works for me or this doesn't work for me. You just don't jump in the pool. And you got to make sure there's water in the pool. Jump in there, you know what I mean?
I just wind up hurting yourself.
Yeah, you don't want to hurt yourself like that. So, yeah, and that's the basics. I believe in everything is study. Do your research. Think about the future. Think if you got kids, think about that. Why would you think that Bitcoin isn't going to work when it's pretty much everywhere? I mean, you just saw El Salvador just made it illegal tender in their country. That's just going to create a snowball effect. Other countries are going to start picking it up and picking it up and picking it up. I mean, yeah, granted, it's going to cut out the middleman. And I'm sorry that, it just is what it is. But now there's more transparency because we don't know what these banks were doing with these third-party companies and these third-party companies taking a cut, and then the price of that raises up.
But then now it opens up the door of sneakiness, because now you could hide everything. You know what I mean? Now a drug dealer can walk normal with this cryptocurrency.
Well, that's where you're wrong, because everything is on a blockchain, and in that blockchain everything is on a ledger. And within that ledger, everything is recorded within that ledger. You cannot tamper with it. The blockchain is one of the most trusted platforms you could have. I promise you. Don't just take my advice. Do some research. Look up the blockchain and understand how the blockchain works. So therefore, everything is transparent.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So that's what makes everything so different. When you're dealing with banks, you don't know where everything is going because the banks aren't transparent with you.
Yeah, but at the same time, you get some sort of insurance with it. You know what I mean? So yes, you don't make that much money, but at the same time, it's like, somebody's going to be responsible. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the part that is kind of like, all right, why not? But hey, I'm definitely going to do my research. I mean, I think all this information is very useful. I'm going to definitely research all that stuff because, like you said, we gotta adapt, and whether we like it or not. I mean, we're going into this weird world that is better to get ahead than be caught off guard. So yeah, this is good stuff.
Most def. Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the conclusion of our show. It's been an honor and a pleasure having our guests on today, but I always open up the microphones for comments and anything that you want to share, maybe something you want to get off your chest, let people know where to find you or what you got upcoming or anything that's just on your heart. Today, we'll start out with our guest. Shane, is there anything you would like to share with our viewers and listeners?
Yeah, on the thing about investing, invest in things. I invest in things that I believe are going to change the world. And that's kind of like my mantra for me. Find things that you want to invest in that are going to help make the world a better place. And I think that you will be rewarded for that when you do that.
Most GQ Nesto?
I definitely want to say, because I'm definitely guilty of it. I have great ideas, but sometimes my execution is not there. Something I'm definitely working on. But I just think that there's so much information out there. There's so many things that you could set in motion that can change your life. The key thing here is to exercise your option to action. You know what I mean? Like, you can actually make a difference in your life, whether you believe it or not, or whether the statistics show you yes or no. The whole point is just trying and swing the bat, and something may pop up, may not, but hey, at least you're one level smarter than you were before, taking that course of action.
Most def. Couldn't say it better myself. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for tuning in today. We love you. We thank you. Make sure you like, subscribe,
download, rate, comment, and we thank you for all your support. I'm your boy Drew. We are Option Forward. We see you guys next time. Peace.